Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? Um, I wanted to talk about Canelo versus Plant. Happened last night in Showtime. Um, this was a pretty amazing fight. It was a pretty good fight, man. What can I say? What can I tell you new about Canelo Alvarez, man? Canelo Alvarez is probably, I would say, my humble opinion, he is the best boxer in the modern times today. This guy is on top of his game. He's um, he's great to watch, man. He's so entertaining. He's such a technician. Um, One of the best boxers I've ever seen. You know, he's so disciplined, um, so smart, a fighting IQ like none other. So well conditioned, always in shape, family man, carries himself pretty well outside the ring, and we're just lucky to if you're a fan of combat sports, if you're a boxing fan, how would you not be a fan of Canelo Alvarez? Canelo Alvarez has done it all, man. He's had 60 fights in his career, and he only has one loss, and that loss was when, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that's when he fought Mayweather back in the day. I think over 10 years ago, and Mayweather was in his prime back then, and Canelo was coming up the ranks, and he was still a young pup. If you wanna see it that way, that's the way I see it. Um, So this time he was facing Caleb Plant. He's an American boxer. Caleb, younger. I think he's about 2 years, 3 years younger than Canelo. Canelo's 31. On paper, on paper, this fight, if you just go by stats and all that, didn't make sense. I mean, but who else is Canelo gonna fight at this point? It's like I think the boxing world is running out of opponents for Canelo. Canelo just runs through everybody. I think, to be honest, the only fight I think Canelo lost was the first fight he had against Triple G, and those were wars, man. I think if you're gonna beat Canelo, you have to be a guy with a lot of power, a guy that can carry that power and carry that intensity to very late rounds. And you just gotta match him up. You gotta match up Canelo, because Canelo's a technician. He um, he has cardio. He has skills. He's very technical. Great coaching. Amazing corner. He's just a master. And Caleb Plant, he did his best. He did his best. Caleb Plant is, like I was saying, he's younger. He's an American. But he only has 22 fights against Canelo's 60 fights in their whole career. So that stat tells you everything right there. And the best thing Plant had for him, going for him, was he was longer, taller, better reach, and he was doing well. I think he established a nice jab there, and he was catching Canelo with that jab and that nice footwork, and he tried to stay calm, and he did his best. He did his best, but the way I see it, he didn't stand a chance. I think Canelo outclassed him. I think Canelo was just walking him down almost every round. Uh, it was just a matter of time. You could tell it was just a matter of time. Caleb Plant had a game plan. I think that game plan was to keep moving, keep going around, using that footwork, and maybe the possibility of getting Canelo tired, which is, if you go by history, he doesn't get tired that easily unless you are matching him, blow by blow. It's one of those things where, what do you tell your fighter um, if he's fighting Canelo and Canelo's there, you know, and he's just as fast and he's just as strong and he's even getting better as the rounds uh, go on, you know. And in the later rounds, Canelo gets better. That's the way he is. He's and he the masterful way he goes after you. You know, Canelo's not one dimensional, not at all, man. That Canelo is completely the opposite of one dimensional. Um, when he attacks you everywhere. He attacks your body. He goes after your body. And then he goes up top. He has a mean hook, a good jab, amazing defense. Always defending himself. Arms always up, always looking at you, always hunting, and his head movement. I believe it was in round 7 where he made a display of his head movement, and Caleb just started throwing his jab at him, throwing his jab, and Canelo was just, you know, it was like just another day, you know, just another day. He was, you know, just a display of head movement. So impressive, man. It's so impressive. Just, man, fun to watch. Canelo is just amazing. What, you know, what else? What more praise can I say? He ended the fight. He KO'd Caleb Plant in round 11. Um, as the commentators said, you know, Canelo's one of those fighters that carries his power very late in the rounds, and he wasn't getting hurt. I think Plant had a good moment in round 9, for round 8. I'm not sure, but it was far in between. You know, it's just one of those things where Canelo was outclassing this kid, and valiant effort by Plant, but he just wasn't in Canelo's level. And who is? I don't know. Canelo is a champion in 4 weight divisions in boxing. I mean, it's just we're lucky to be alive in the Canelo era, you know, to watch him fight and dominate people. Such a master in that ring. And who else is he gonna fight? I heard what's his name, the welterweight champion in UFC, Kamaru Usman, saying that he wants to challenge himself and fight Canelo, and that he wants to do it right now when they're in their prime. And you know, he was gonna talk to Dana White, and they asked Dana White in the post-fight conference after UFC 268. They asked him about it, and he simply said, "You don't want to fight Canelo." He goes, "You don't want to fight Canelo." And Dana White is absolutely 100% correct, man. I mean, I think I have always been of that thought in the back of my mind that you know, MMA fighters kind of disrespect boxers. They disrespect boxers by trying to go into their world, you know, especially when you challenge somebody like Canelo. You don't see Canelo saying that he would like to go to MMA. That's because Canelo stays in his lane. Canelo is a realist. He understands that he is a pure boxer, one of the best in the world. So he's not rude, you know. He doesn't talk shit about Conor McGregor or Kamaru Usman or anybody, or doesn't say that he'd like to dabble in MMA and go try it out. No, he stays in his lane, and he's a master boxer. He's one of the best boxers in the world, and I think he's just being respectful, because Canelo understands also that he's never trained for MMA. He doesn't train jiu-jitsu. He doesn't train wrestling. That's not his field. He specialized in one area of combat sports, and that is the sweet science, that is boxing. So when Kamaru Usman says something like that, that he wants to go to box the best in the world, being Canelo Alvarez, it's a little bit disrespectful, man. It's a little disrespectful. It's like saying let me give you an analogy. It's like telling a truck driver who has his rig and that's what he does for a living, and you are, have been valet parking for a long time, and that's what you do. You're a very good valet parker, and you're good. You drive all types of cars, and you tell that trucker that you could do his job easily. And it's kind of disrespectful because yeah, you have an idea. You probably know you would know how to drive a rig, but you're not gonna do it as well as that guy that has been doing it all his life. That's what he trained for. He got his license for it. That's what he does. And just because you park every type of fancy car and you know how to drive cars and maybe you race and maybe you dabble, and that doesn't make you um, it's disrespectful. It's like stay in your lane, I think. So it's one of those things where a lot of MMA fighters. It's one thing when MMA fighters like Tyron Woodley goes and fights Jake Paul, who isn't really a pure boxer. That's different. It's kind of different, and but never you don't go and challenge the champion of the world, Canelo Alvarez, and say that you're gonna beat him. I mean, it's pure boxing. Let's be real. I mean, Canelo would outclass Kamaru Usman because Kamaru Usman is not a boxer. He has an idea how to box. He trains and dabbles in boxing. He, for MMA standards, he has good hands, but he's not on that in that level. So they know why understands that, and I think I know MMA fighters have that mentality of I can do anything, and but it's kind of insulting. It's kind of rude because Canelo has been doing it on the on the upper levels of boxing for a long time now. He has faced the best of the best in boxing. So what are you talking about? What are you talking about? You're the champion in one sport. You can't go to the other sport and think you're gonna outclass the best of the best. Just like Canelo is not rude and doesn't go and say to a reporter that he thinks he would probably beat Kamaru Usman in MMA. Probably do pretty good because he's a good athlete, and maybe I think I got a chance and I'll knock him out. Nah, not really, because in MMA, Kamaru Usman would just take you down and submit you or just ground and pound you, and you're not used to that. So that's where it comes from. You gotta have knowledge of both sports, maybe to understand what I'm talking about. But anyways, back to the fight. I think the boxing event was pretty amazing. It was a pretty good fight. Just Canelo Alvarez outclassed Caleb Plant, and we'll see what's next for him. It was a good fight, and I just wanted to give you guys my feedback on it. Thanks, guys, for listening to me, and give me likes, dislikes. Thank you for all you guys subscribing to my channel, and please subscribe if you like what I'm saying. I'm a fan of MMA. I'm a fan of boxing. I love combat sports. Thank you.